What's going on? Why is it not starting? Let's try this. Output settings. Aha, this is what the. There we go. Now we should be getting somewhere. Can we get somewhere? Yes. Where are we at? Come on. So am I live? Oh my gosh, if I'm live, I'm so irritated because this thing is not showing properly. Am I live? Ah! Thank you. Listen, my screen over here has been going absolutely bonkers. It's been acting like it wasn't live. I don't know if it is, but now I can see there are 3 people here. Hi. Let me switch my screen here just so you guys can see my face. Hi everyone. I am so frustrated because my system over here was saying that I was not live, and then I can see that I am, so I greatly apologize. I am still learning this. I'm typically on Facebook Live, so I hope you guys are having a great day. I kind of want to start over, but I can go with the flow. So listen, today we are solely having a conversation about why your candidates, and let's pull the screen here, why your candidate submittals keep getting rejected. And, that is definitely an issue for a lot of people wondering, okay, so I'm working hard and I'm submitting my candidates. And every time I go in and submit these candidates, the client sees the resume and then they say, nope, not a fit. Nope, don't want them. Nope, don't need them. Nope, this isn't for me. And you're like, what the F, right? Like, why are they not submitting? Why are they rejecting my candidates? So today we're going to talk about that because this is something that I not only see when I am working with staffing agencies all over the country, but this is something that I'm seeing within my academy and with my staffingpreneur splits. And I want to talk about this because I really am passionate about you guys being prepared and knowing how this industry works and what it takes to be successful in this industry. Now, I am live right now here on YouTube. But, if you are on Facebook or in one of my Facebook groups and you are looking to learn a little bit more, and you want to ask questions about what's going on, please let me know and comment, and we can go from there because I want to hear your feedback. For all the folks that are here live on YouTube, I would like for you to please feel free to put your information in the chat box, so that your questions in the chat box, so that I can respond. I am looking. Let's get started. Happy Monday, everyone. Okay, so here, first things first, job postings. Now listen, we're talking about why your candidate submittals are being rejected. And so few things. When you are relying, and I think I spelled that wrong, when you're relying only on candidates who reply to your job postings, 9 times out of 10, they are probably not going to be a fit. And I know that sounds weird, and I'll explain in a moment. When you are screening only candidates who apply to your job postings, we are having a problem here. And if you are submitting only candidates who are applying to your job postings, we have a problem here. And I'm going to tell you why. And you can learn more at Staffingpreneurs Academy. Good morning, Kimberly from VA. Listen, job postings, back in the day, they used to be it. I mean, job postings was where it was when you posted a position on Monster or Career Builder or any of those places. That was the place to go. That was where it was supposed to be. But today it's not like that because social media is in play. Oh my gosh, I wish I had that article I was reading yesterday. Social media is in play, and that changed the game with job postings. And that's not to say that job postings are not a form or a resource for you to use in order to find the right candidate. And we'll talk about that in a little bit in more detail. It's not to say that, but it is to say that every company on this planet, for the most part, they're already posting jobs. So as a recruiter, as a staffingpreneur, if you are using the same methods that the company is already using, how are you truly a benefit to that company? Just asking. How are you truly a benefit to that company? Because they're already using that resource. Now, again, that's not to say that you should not use the job board. There is a way to use job board. There's a time to use job boards. If you are in a niche that is on what I consider to be commercial, which is like warehouse, customer service, admins, different things like that, then the job boards are fine. Use them, use them, use them, use them. Maybe you'll find someone that they haven't found. If you are in a niche where it's like project management, business analysts, nurses, lawyers, different things like that, you can use a job board, but it should not be your sole resource, right? It should not be your sole resource. You should be, and we'll talk about where I want you to go and what I want you to do. Let's talk about it now. Forget it. You should be going out and looking for that candidate and finding that candidate, because while you are posting and waiting, good morning, Claudia. While you're posting and waiting for that candidate to respond, and while you're using the job board solely, there are other recruiters that are out there using LinkedIn, they're using Google, they're using a niche job board that's specific, meaning that those candidates aren't interested in using a general job board. They're using a job board that's specific to their niche. The recruiters are networking. The recruiters have a network. The recruiters are going out and they're using the job boards from a search perspective versus a posting perspective. Candidates who maybe have posted their job 10 years ago or 5 years ago or even 6 months ago, and that are not necessarily actively looking. Okay, so I want you to just understand that job postings are a resource and there's a way to use them. When I use job postings, it's really to get to know the person, not just to get to know the person within that niche, but I'm not always looking to put that person that I found who's responded to my position in front of my client. Sometimes it's to meet the person that person sits next to, or that person knows within the industry. So there is a method to using job boards, and there are a number of methods. And again, this is not to say that you do not use job boards, but this is to say that your clients are probably already using job boards. So what else are you using? That is probably one of the main reasons why your candidates are being rejected. Hey, with my last breath, D from NC. Good morning. On YouTube. Shout outs. I love it. Okay, so let's go to your next one here. All right. And we're talking lack of quality. All right. Lack of quality. So screening is not just about the skill set. Okay. When you're screening your candidates, it also involves a couple of other things. So first things first, your candidate submittals are probably being rejected because the caliber of your candidate probably doesn't necessarily match the caliber of the job that you're working on or the company. So for instance, if you're submitting people to Microsoft, right? If you're submitting people to Microsoft or to Apple, or the job is from Microsoft or Apple, and you have decided that you want to submit someone who comes from ABC mom and pop shop, they're probably not going to be a fit. And I'm not going to say that they're not going to be a fit, but what I'm saying, they're probably not going to be a fit. Your job is to find candidates who match that company in every way possible. So if this company is a Fortune 100 company, are you finding candidates that come from Fortune 100 companies? Because typically they're on an enterprise level. And so the candidates that you are submitting should be on an enterprise level. Has your candidate worked for one of these companies' competitors, right? What more does your candidate have to offer? Let me ask, when you are submitting your candidates, are you focusing on the sizzle? We call it the sizzle. But the professional highlights, the things that this candidate has done that makes a company want to say, wow, this is someone that I want within my company. This is someone that should be working for my company. These are things that you want to start thinking about, that you want to kind of put into the mindset of, and you want to have into your mindset. Again, every candidate that you come across is not going to be a fit for every position that you are working on. And I'm going to just tell you, and I think I talk about this in the next slide, if you are submitting every candidate that you talk to, you're thinking wrong. You're not looking at this in the proper manner. If you are submitting every candidate that you meet, right? I don't know how many, I can say it in 50 different ways. Every candidate is not a fit for every open position. You should really be talking to 5 or 10 candidates before you get one candidate that you're ready to submit. So just keep that in mind. Lack of quality, and there are definitely more reasons along the lines of quality, but lack of quality is definitely one of the reasons why your candidates are being rejected after you've submitted them to the client. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, another reason that your candidate submittals are being rejected is lack of understanding. All right. Lack of understanding, meaning you do not have a clear understanding of the job requirements. Maybe you have not gone the extra mile to understand the job requirements. And sometimes understanding the job requirements doesn't necessarily come from the client. Sometimes it comes from the candidates that you are interviewing who kind of define that job description. Because remember, clients say they want something, but sometimes they don't even know what they want until they actually get it. You understand what I'm saying? They don't know what they want until they actually see it. If you are screening a candidate, if you're screening a candidate and the candidate is yes, exactly. Being super selective is important. Someone said, great, I'm glad I'm being super selective. You must be super selective, okay? Because they can think about it. They're getting hundreds of resumes already internally. And then they have their internal recruiting team working on the position as well. And now here you come as a recruiter, as a staffingpreneur, and you're working on the same exact positions, but submitting the same candidates who have already submitted themselves, or submitting the same candidates that the recruiters have already found and rejected internally. Come on now. Come on now. You're not getting paid thousands of dollars to do what they're already doing. It doesn't work that way. Okay. You got to be super duper selective. Now, you've got to understand. So I want to go back to understanding the job requirements, because sometimes understanding the job requirements comes from a candidate. That means that you are talking to a candidate, you're telling them about the job opportunity, you're asking them, what have you done along the lines of this particular skill set. You're finding out what successes they've experienced, what failures they've experienced. What have they found that's been challenging? What have they found that has been successful? So sometimes understanding, more about that job is going to come from the candidate and not always from the client. But having a clear understanding of the client's requirements is also important as well. And then again, I think I just spoke about this just a second ago, but choosing, again, going in and choosing the first candidate that you speak with, is never a good idea when you're talking about, submitting your candidates. Listen, when we're getting paid a shitload of money to do what we do. I'm just going to keep it real. And if you're really going to take this business seriously or take your job seriously as a recruiter, it's important for you to understand the value that you bring. If you are submitting a candidate, your screening process needs to go far and beyond what the client has given you. I always teach in my classes and tell my staffingpreneurs, whatever the job requirements are, you should be flipping those job requirements into questions. But not only should you be flipping them into questions and then determining whether or not that candidate is a fit based on that, but you should also be digging deeper into that candidate's background and experience to find out what more does this candidate bring to the table. Apple and Microsoft and I don't care, MedAssets, I'm just naming companies out the clear blue. They do not want the average candidate. Yes, we're in this business to help people who are looking to find jobs, but understand that on the commercial side of the business, which is your blue collar jobs or your low end jobs, and I say that with respect, there is a number of candidates that are out there that are looking for work, and that where we can fill those positions, and that mindset is true to that specific area of recruiting and staffing. But when you start diving into the professional solutions department or the professional solutions area, we're talking about Java developers, .NET developers, a data analyst, attorneys. We're talking about cleared professional positions. Anything in healthcare IT, anything in IT, anything in engineering for the most part, positions that are 60K and over. It is not as simple as just posting a job, waiting for people to respond, and then submitting the first candidate that comes along. I cannot repeat this enough during this little training session. Yes, you should always be looking. Someone said, I'm always looking for the wow factor in each candidate. That is what you're looking for. And understand, your clients are looking for the same thing. They're looking for the wow factor. That determines quality. That determines, I understand what you're looking for. That determines whether or not your candidate not just gets you're not just submitting them, but that the client is saying, hey, this is somebody that I want to be with. And I keep repeating this over and over and over again, because sometimes I think you guys I think you hear me, but you're not listening. Or you're listening, but you're not hearing me. So I just got to kind of push it a little. I want to just lay it on thick. I got to lay it on thick, because I want you to understand, if your candidates are being rejected, it is something that you are doing. Did I point? I didn't mean to do that. But I just need to just make sure that you have a clear understanding. If your candidates are being rejected, it is something that you are doing, something that you're doing wrong, something that you're not doing enough of. You've got to screen your candidates. You've got to understand the caliber of the job and the company that you're working for. You've got to take it a step further. And when you're screening the candidates, please understand that it's not a yes or no. Do you have 6 years of experience? Yes. Do you have, and when they say yes, I say, okay, tell me a little bit more about it. Because if a candidate is a wild candidate, they're going to be passionate about telling you what they do, right? Have you worked with this particular technology? Yes. Tell me a little bit about that technology. How have you used that technology? Oh, I use it with this. How long have you worked with the technology? Oh, I've worked with the technology for the past 6 years. Do you consider yourself a beginner, a novice, or intermediate or novice user? Like, where are you? Expert? Tell me a little bit about that. Let me ask you in a better way. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being an expert and 1 being a beginner, where do you see yourself at, your skills with that technology? Do you understand? You are literally going in and screening this candidate. If it's a nurse and they said, I work in the ICU. Tell me about the greatest experience that you had. Tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you've experienced. In the ideal company that you want to work for, tell me what do you expect to see? Or in the company you've worked for, what have they done wrong that you would do differently? Tell me, have you been acknowledged for something? You want to go in, you want to dive in and really screen that candidate. And while you're screening that candidate, you want to go in and you want to put those notes in your ATS so that when you're ready to start writing the write-up, you can take all the information that the candidate has given you and you take that information and you put it in the write-up, because remember, you're selling your candidate. And I've seen some staffingpreneurs get permission from the candidate, and then they record the interview. So when they're making the submittal, then they've already recorded the interview of the candidate, and the hiring manager can get an idea of the candidate's personality, how they're responding to the questions and so forth. We're in 2016, my loves. Okay, so you've got to sell this candidate. And a lot of you are just definitely not really, I don't want to say a lot of you, but many of you are not taking this seriously. Okay, you're outsourcing jobs that have already been outsourced to you. That's crazy. If you don't have a niche, you're just working on any and every position that's coming by with no pipeline of candidates. You bring no value. Okay? If you want to make $10, $20, $30, $40,000 per pop, you've got to bring value. And more importantly, you've got to get out of those job boards, or at least know how to work the job boards properly in order for them to be a true match. Okay, comments are coming in. Someone says here, I personally research the position and develop a questionnaire to ask candidates. From there, I determine their knowledge of the field and how good a fit they are for the position. That's perfect. That's perfect. I researched the company, and okay, so yeah, I got that. Okay, then I researched the company. She says I researched the company and position and develop a questionnaire for my candidates to make sure they're a good fit. I also saw another comment here. That's an awesome idea to record the interview with permission, of course. Definitely with permission. Get it in writing. Okay, get it in writing. But when you are if you're passionate, because you should really only be recruiting or having your own recruiting agency if you're passionate, right, about the business. So if you're passionate about this, then you should be passionate about matching the right candidate with the right job opportunity with the right client. And if you're not passionate about it, you need not to be in this business. If you're looking for the fast way, like if you're looking for a quick fix, I'm going to just like Amanda fusses at me. She says, D, don't say that. But I'm going to say it because the recruiting and staffing industry doesn't need any more excuse my French, recruiters. We just don't. We have enough of that. That's why we have a crazy reputation. Listen, I'm getting ready to do another video after this one. And it's based on this article, Just Another Stinking Agency. And it talks about how to overcome the industry's bad reps so clients can see your value. Listen, we already have a reputation where we don't bring value. How are you going to change that if you're doing the least amount of work in order to get the hire? Like, it just doesn't make sense. You understand? So this video, and I've already gone over time. Y'all know I talk. Y'all know I get passionate about this stuff and I start talking and it's like, but I just want you to take the search a little bit more seriously. I want you to take screening your candidates a little more seriously. I want you to not be afraid to do this, to pick up the phone and call them and ask them questions and to get into the candidate. Because remember, as you're screening these candidates, you are also building a relationship with these candidates. You're also pipelining these candidates. I mean, we talk about, I don't know if I can't pull my sheet over. Y'all know I got my whiteboard. I want to pull my whiteboard over. And I don't know, I think you can see, but we also talk about, hold on one second, how the candidate is so many different pieces to your candidate, right? Let's go back here, right? There's so many different pieces because your candidate provides client referrals. Your candidate provides other candidate referrals. They become your candidates, right? Once they get hired, they become managers and they become your clients. So like when you are not taking, your candidates seriously, when you're not taking the screening process seriously, of course your candidates are going to get rejected. I would reject them. And I think at the end of the day, when you're looking at these candidates and you're deciding whether or not you want to, actually submit them, the bigger question is this a candidate that I would want to hire? Is this somebody that I would want to hire? Would I hire this candidate? If you're talking to the candidate on the phone and they're like, yes, why would you submit them? If you are submitting a candidate who has a crappy resume, why would you submit that candidate's resume in its current state? That is the candidate's sales tool. It is your sales tool. A lot of times, candidates get submitted, the resumes get submitted because the resume looks like crap, right? So my question to you is, what are you doing to earn the money that you are making in this business? What are you doing? Because I know on my splits board and Staffingpreneur splits, I see a ton of submittals that come across and the candidate's resume looks horrific. And then I get on, man, why are you submitting this candidate if their resume looks like this? The recruiter is not even, or the staffingpreneur rather, is not even taking the time out to make the resume look beautiful, because First, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. That was one of the other things I didn't want to just necessarily put out there. I wanted you to come into the academy to understand more about why your candidates why your candidate submittals are being rejected. But that's another reason. It's because of the way the resume looks. Most people don't know how to write a resume. And so as the recruiter, it's your job to make that resume look good. I'm not saying you have to change anything on there as far as the content, but you can at least make sure that it's in bullet points, that it looks neat, that it's in a font that's readable, that the grammar and the punctuation is correct in there. That's your job. That's what you get paid for. Okay. I hear someone state this is definitely not a quick fix business. It's really, really, really serious. It takes a lot of time and work in order to stand out. Exactly. And that's the key thing, stand out, right? Because you're talking about a hiring manager that is receiving a sea of resumes. Think about a sea. Think about an ocean, with millions and hundreds of thousands of fish in there. I said millions, hundreds, and thousands, depending on how big your ocean is, right? How is Dory going to stand out? Right? I'm just using that as an example. Dory would be your candidate. How is your candidate standing out? Right? So what are you doing differently to ensure that the candidate does? Someone says, true, I hear that a lot. That's why I'm taking my time to find the right candidate for these positions. I want to be known as the high-class agency that only delivers the best of the best. That's the way you should be thinking. And when you are, and listen, I tell my staffingpreneurs all the time, if you really want to make it in this business, before you ever start looking for clients, before you ever start working on positions within your niche, the first thing you should be doing, and I say take 2 to 3 weeks, if not a month, is getting to know the people in your industry. Getting to know, and I'm not talking about the staffing industry. I'm talking about the nurses. I'm talking about the Java developers. I'm talking about the business analyst or the infrastructure project managers. You should be on the phone with each and every one of them every day. Hi, my name is Dee Williams. I own Identifies Consulting. We are the #1 niche recruitment and staffing agency for Java developers. My job right now, I'm not doing anything. We're brand new. Okay, my job right now is to get to know everyone in the industry. I came across your LinkedIn profile, or I came across your resume, and oh my gosh, you blew me away. I was hoping that I could have 10 to 15 minutes of your time to really take a moment to introduce myself, but more importantly, to learn a little bit more about you. Are you loving your job? If you are, what do you love about it? Are you interested in a new opportunity? If not, that's okay. I'm really just here to get to know you. What does the perfect opportunity look like for you? What does the perfect company look like to you? What's the perfect salary or hourly rate that's perfect for you? And start profiling your candidates and getting them into your ATS so that you can start having a network. Asking those candidates, can you refer me to a friend? Because my job is to take over the Java space. My job is to know just about everyone in the industry. And so when we start working with clients, then we can present to you the best opportunities, because as you can see, we take our time in screening, and going through the screening process. And I just kind of threw that off the top of my head. But when you're building a niche recruitment and staffing agency, it is 100% about your niche candidates. Your jobs will come easy. Job orders come easy. If you have a good pipeline, your job orders will come easy. Okay, and then I'm going to take a few more comments, and then I'm going to close this out because I have a whole nother video that I want to do on just another stinking agency, because I'm fired up today, guys. Y'all know I say that all the time, but I'm really fired up about this because I've seen a number of people, these submittals are being rejected. And I'm going to tell you something else really, really quickly. When you're working with a company and they start to see that you are submitting crappy candidates and they're consistently rejecting you, you're almost implanting subconsciously a seed in their mind that you don't submit really good candidates. So if you keep doing that over and over and over and over again, after a while, it doesn't matter how good your candidate is. That hiring manager is going to automatically think it's a crappy candidate because that is the pattern that you've created for yourself and your agency. And then they'll start to tell their client friends. And then you'll start to gain a reputation of submitting crappy candidates. And then you've just wasted your time. Do you understand? Okay. Then you've wasted your time. Okay. Okay. So someone said, it's okay. We love the passion. It inspires us. Thank you. Someone said, I hired someone to help candidates with their resumes before the submittal. That's perfect. That's awesome because that's a selling point for you and your business, right? Someone said, you have me fired up as well. I get fired up because we want this business is not just about all the money that you can make, but this business is about really impacting our economy, impacting, the candidates' lives and impacting our lives. And so you got to take it seriously. And I don't want to hear that you guys are getting a ton of submittals. The ton of rejections from clients. The only reason why that client should be rejecting that candidate is if he doesn't know what he wants, or if you're doing kind of like that first submittal to get an idea as to whether or not you're on the right path with that particular client, like really more to get more feedback. So like you submit the candidate along the lines of what they're looking for. And he says, no, we don't want this candidate because this candidate doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. Now that client doesn't know, but they've just helped you solidify that job order in more detail. Yes, that should only be one. After that, you should be right on the mark, right? You should be right on the mark. So I just want to take a moment to really thank you guys for, being on this training. I know I had some technical difficulties in the beginning of this training, but I hope that you found it valuable. I hope that you have heard and you've listened and heard the advice that I'm giving to you as your trainer and as your coach. I want you to understand that it is super duper important for you to screen your candidates, to understand your candidates, to get to know your candidates. And if you want more training like this, I would encourage you to go to learn more, visit, sign up to staffingpreneursacademy.com. This was just a small tidbit of the type of training that I provide at Staffingpreneurs Academy. As you guys can tell, I am passionate about what I do. And so this is my energy. This is who I am. So this is what you get. Also, please like this video. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I have a goal here and we're going to have a huge party when I hit my goal. You can also join our pre-Staffingpreneurs Facebook group. Go to Facebook, type in 6-Figure Staffing Startup. That's our pre-Staffingpreneurs Academy group. Once you become a member to Staffingpreneurs Academy, then you'll have access to the members only group, this is what I do every day in that group. I'm all over them. I'm all over my staffingpreneurs. I absolutely love them. So, but if you're not ready just yet to join Staffingpreneurs Academy and you just want to stay in the midst, then join our pre-Staffingpreneurs Academy group. We would love to have you here. I see a comment. I've been fired up since watching your videos. Everyone thinks I'm nuts, but I know what I'm capable of, and failure is not an option. Hold on. I got to get back on camera for one quick second. High five, girl. High five. That's what I'm talking about. High five. High five. Failure is not an option. Hello. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. She needed my high fives. Okay. Also, another comment. Always valuable information in every video. It's helping me to build my business. That is what it's about. I want you guys to have successful niche recruitment and staffing agency businesses. I absolutely love you and appreciate you guys being here. I will be doing another live video today in about an hour or two Also, if you are not a part of Staffingpreneurs Academy, please join. We have 3 live 1-hour trainings going on this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 9 p.m. They will not be on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else. It's only for Staffingpreneurs Academy members. So if you want to get in there, we're talking about building your social community, your social network. We're talking about strategies for business development and growing your business. And we are also, I forgot what the other training is about. So we've got 3 trainings. So bear with me. Please forgive me. All right, guys, I absolutely love you. Please look out for the next live stream. You guys have an absolutely amazing Monday.